We have it all figured out. See, we don't know what we need. And the truth is, we need God. See, we think that we have it all together and that we're ready for the world. But in all actuality, the world will cause you to do things you never thought you had to do. Why is it when we get too blessed, we feel as though we don't need God anymore? Why is it that when we feel too high up, we don't need God anymore? But in some point of our lives, we no longer need this chaperone called Jesus. Is it that we start to maintain a certain economical or educational status that we forget about God and where He's brought us from? We get to the point where we want to leave Jesus at home. The only time we decide to talk to God is when we're in trouble or we hear about Him on Sunday mornings. This young man found himself leaving when he could have stayed. And he faces a lot of turmoil and a lot of obstacles. Well, see, I just want to show you 3 problems tonight, and then I'll be on my way. The first problem is he left too early and eagerly. The young man left too soon while he was yet still premature. He left in the wrong direction. And see, when you leave early, sometimes you don't know where you're going. He did not know what direction he was going, and he left learning. You see, when you leave early, you don't know who to learn from. He did not take the opportunity to learn from his pastor. He did not take the opportunity to learn from his father. He did not take the opportunity to learn from teachers, but instead he learned from the world. See, he was not ready for the world, but believe me, the world was ready for him. This young man, he left rules and regulations. He said, I'm leaving my father's house and I can do whatever I want to do. I'm getting out as soon as possible. You need to know tonight that God will respect your choice to do right or wrong. He will not force you to love Him. He will not force you to be faithful to Him. And He surely won't beg you leaving home without a chaperone. My next point is he left entirely. The Bible talks about how he gathered all of his belongings. He left with all. But you see, some of us take all God has blessed us with and feel like we no longer need God anymore. But just as you leave with all, you'll end up with nothing. See, sometimes we forget who gave us the new car. Sometimes we forget who gave us the new house. Sometimes we forget who gave us healthy children. Sometimes we forget who gave us our mind and our mouth to speak and our ears to hear and our eyes to see. After he is down to nothing, his money was all gone and his lifestyle has changed. He went from living with the best to living in the worst. He was going to have to eat with the pigs, and he left the presence of his father because he longed for wild living. But this is then when he remembers his father. Here the son finds himself in the whole pen of life. And in verse 15 it says he came to his senses. Some of us are still struggling with the stuff we've been struggling with for years now because we have failed to come to our senses. See, the truth is when you leave God's will, you will experience nothing but misery and pain. This young man finds out just how hard life can be, and he heads back to his father empty. My last point is that he returns empty. He returns to his father with nothing. See, this young man is seeking to be filled with love. He's seeking to be filled with joy and peace and hope and long-suffering and faith. I come to tell you tonight, see, it is when you're empty. is when God can use you. You've got to be blind in some point in your life for you to realize that you need God to see. I've come to tell you, it's when you have to eat pig slop is when God can use you. It's when you're down to your last dollar, that's when God can use you. You had everything that God gave you, and you decided to leave, and you ended up with nothing. It's when you've been stripped down to your last dollar, that's when God can use you. Leaving home without a chaperone. I'm getting ready to close now, but I'm reminded of a story of a young boy named Johnny. And Johnny had just joined church. Johnny had just gotten saved and baptized. And he went home that Sunday afternoon to get ready for school on Monday morning. And on Monday he got up. He got dressed. He left for school. And he noticed two men following him. See, Johnny became scared. And he made it to school, and these same two men were yet still following him. He told his teacher, and she said, if those two men continue to follow you, you let me know. So as he goes on through class and he gets ready to head home, he sees these two men yet still following him. So he becomes afraid and scared for his life. Well, he decides to stop at the police station. He tells the police, these two men keep following me. They've been following me since the time I've gotten up till now. And the police officers respond, son, we don't see anybody. He said, but you don't understand, these two men, they just keep following me. So the boy leaves and he heads on home, and he decides to stop at the church. He tells the pastor, Reverend, these two men keep following me. They have been following me all day long, everywhere and anywhere. They followed me in the school. They followed me outside of the school. They followed me to the police station, and they're yet still following me. So what the pastor decides to do is he goes to get something out of his desk, and he grabs a book. And the young boy doesn't notice what book it is, but he opens the book, and he begins to read, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil, and my cup overflows. And he gets down to the last verse, and he says, surely goodness and mercy, surely goodness and mercy, surely goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life. I stop by to remind you that you got two chaperones, goodness and mercy. If it had not been for goodness and mercy, you'd be sleeping in somebody's grave. Goodness and mercy kept you like nobody else could. Goodness and mercy mercy delivered you. It healed you. It fixed you. It picked you up and turned you around and placed your feet on solid ground. Somebody let you know that you don't need to leave home without a chaperone. A chaperone named Jesus. Jesus to the lost, he is the way. Jesus to the dead, he is the life. To the hungry, he is the bread. To the astronomer, he's the bright and morning star. To the animal lover, he is the lion of the tribe of Judah. If you're in trouble, he's a lawyer in the courtroom. If you don't know what you need, he's the Alpha and Omega. The one who was born in poverty. The one who was born a helpless baby. He sailed in somebody else's boat. He ate at somebody else's table. Don't leave home without a chaperone. Now I need about 3 or 4 folk to get up off your feet and give God your best praise. The truth is, he's been good. He's been good. He's been good. We got food to eat. We got clothes to wear. He's been good. He's been good. He's been good. He's been good. Don't leave home without a chaperone. At this time, if I could have all my young people to come to the altar. All my young people. And as you're coming, I want you to begin to give yourself away to God. I want you to forget about everything else right now and focus on God. This service is specifically for you.